Hi, this is Joe again with another review. Let's say in this video I'm going to be discussing, we're going to go off the James Bond series for this video, because lately we've been reviewing the James Bond movies. But for this video I'm going to be discussing the 1983 Chuck Norris film, Wolf McQuade. Starring of course Chuck Norris, David Carradine, Barbara Carrere, and of course for those of you who are fans of the series Star Trek Voyager, Robert Belch fans in this. Of course he played Commander Chakotay in the Star Trek. Excuse me, that's my sister, not a dog, right? That's my sister sneezing. Her allergies are acting up, so if you hear that, please excuse it. And of course, like I said, Robert Beltran also stars in this, who played Commander Chakotay 12 years later in Star Trek Voyager. So if you really see him as a young guy, I mean, he was, a young guy with hardly gray hair, or that Indian tattoo on his forehead. You can see him in this movie. I don't know if it's his first movie role or whatever, but he was in Lone Wolf McQuade. Of course, this movie, what I mean by this is a stereotypical role for Chuck Norris, because of the fact that he plays, big shot coming guys, a Texas Ranger. Right? Big shot, right? He plays a Texas Ranger, and he's trying to track down a gun runner who's played by David Carradine's character, a guy who hijacks U.S. Army trucks and steals U.S. military style weapons and sells them illegal. And he hijacks trucks, steals all the guns, and then sells them to South American dictators. And that's what he does. And of course, Chuck Norris is trying to bring this guy down. And Robert Beltran, who just said he was on Star Trek Voyager, plays Chuck Norris' partner because he was with the state police. I thought the Texas Rangers were the state police in Texas, but I mean that's neither here or there. I always thought that the Texas Rangers were the state police in Texas, or the ultimate police force, kind of like the Mounties in Canada. But he was forced to take Robert Beltran on as a partner, because he's, they really call him Lone Wolf McQuade, because he's always a lone wolf, does things his own way, the way he sees, kind of like Dirty Harry, but in Texas and not in San Francisco. And naturally, of course, the whole movie is kind of like what the original Batman, the 1989 Batman movie was, when they constantly through the whole 2-hour movie hypes the big fight between, or the final fight between Joker and Batman. That's what they had in this film. It's a ultimate big hype movie. Even though he did have a boatload of action in this film before then. I was thinking Batman when he had a boatload of action, but it builds up to the big one-on-one, mano-a-mano confrontation between David Carradine and Chuck Norris. Of course, at that time, in the early 80s, these were the two American guys who kicked ass, in terms of with karate, or should I say karate, as they say in the Karate Kid movies. Of course, Chuck Norris was huge, becoming to be huge, especially in the 70s when he did that movie with Bruce Lee. And of course, David Carradine did the television show. I think that ended already by then, in the early 80s. The Kung Fu television show, which was airing constantly on Channel 11 here in New York on Saturday afternoons. So you had the two big guys, in terms of that, going one-on-one, and that was kind of fun. That's if those of you who grew up watching Kung Fu on TV, and see David Carradine and Chuck Norris. Of course, David Carradine always played a good villain. I have to tell you that right now, because he also played one of the villains in the North and South television miniseries, which I previously reviewed. He was like one of the first he was really the first villain introduced, but we didn't know he was a villain until later on in the series. And of course, right after Bent, I know I'm getting on a tangent, but Phil Kassoff was the first villain we actually saw was the first villain, and then David Carradine was like the second villain, in that series. And you see, David Carradine being a villain was pretty damn cool. And of course, we all know what happens. Chuck Norris kicks his ass and kills. Then they have a huge, pretty damn good fight scene between the two of them. And, at the end, of course. Also, what happens in this movie is that you have the subplot with Chuck Norris's ex-wife, who got a new job and taking the daughter with him. Excuse me. And of course, the daughter gets involved in what's going on with the David Carradine character, because they witnessed David Carradine's guys hijacking this truck. They actually witnessed it. They were out on a makeout joint, like on a hill, looking over the highway, and they were making out in the car. And they heard some funky stuff going on, and the boyfriend gets out of Chuck Norris's daughter's boyfriend gets out of the car and witnessed this stuff. And one of the other guys saw that they were, playing a little looky-loo as what's going on. And one of the guys kills the boyfriend, the daughter's boyfriend, and the daughter almost gets killed by these guys. And so of course, so now all of a sudden it's becoming a little more personal. Meanwhile, when that's going on, you have David Carradine's partner was played by Wolf McQuade, who figured out that the David Carradine character killed her husband. Recently killed her husband, and she was forced to be to David Carradine's partner, and she knew everything was going on. And then she decides to leave him and shacks up with Chuck Norris. And they do mean shacking up. I mean, they do have a sex scene and everything else in this film. And of course, David Carradine's goons and track down Chuck Norris, tracks down to his house, shoots it up, almost kills the both of them. And one of the things they did was to kill the wolf, because Chuck Norris's character has like a pet wolf standing guard in front of the house. And I don't know how in the world they got a wolf in Texas with all that heat down there. I mean, it will kill the wolves down there. That heat, the Texas heat down there. Anyway, he had a wolf there, and the first thing that David Carradine's goons do is they kill the wolf, and then they always try to kill Chuck Norris. A couple of times they try to kill him, and Chuck Norris always gets out of it some way. It's kind of like James Bond in a way, almost. He always seems to get out of it, and he does use a lot of his karate moves and stuff to get out of stuff. And he almost kills, and they almost killed the Robert Beltran character, and they almost killed those federal agent guys, these DEA guys who were trying to butt on the ATF, and the FBI guys trying to bust in on David Carradine's operation, but they didn't have a guy in there. And now you have Chuck Norris. They decided to have Chuck Norris help, or ask Chuck Norris to help him, and he reluctantly agrees, especially considering the fact that they do kidnap the Bob McQuade character and Chuck Norris's daughter in the film. So they kidnap both of them. So not only did they try to kill Chuck Norris's daughter earlier in the film, now they kidnapped her, and now really pisses him off, and Chuck Norris off even more. And so he goes down there to his little ranch that he has down in Mexico, and goes down there and kills him and does about everybody, and beats the shit out of David Carradine's character, and they blew him up. The only thing that was really missing from this movie is seeing Chuck Norris saying the line from Die Hard, "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker." That's really the only thing that's missing out of this film. But other than that, this was really the first and really only Chuck Norris movie I ever really saw, because most of them were just about all the same thing and all that stuff. And this one was, when first time I came with TV, this was back in 1984. This movie was on constantly, and to see Chuck Norris and David Carradine go, kick each other, beating the shit out of each other, that's what made it fun for me. See, Chuck Norris was like a 6th degree black belt, and see David Carradine was the kung fu guy. That's all he really knew him for at that time, because it was actually before the North and South series came out. You see the two of them, doing all these karate moves and stuff, kung fu moves by David Carradine and the karate moves by Chuck Norris, and like real Marlon type stuff. And that was a really good fight. I know they choreographed those fights themselves, so they had a fight coordinator do it, or worked with them on that fight. But it was pretty damn good, and to me, that's the highlight of the whole movie. Lone Wolf McQuade, that's the highlight of the whole movie for me. But other than that, it's really, like I said, really still a typical movie for the 80s. I mean this was true. It was the early 80s. It was 83, but the type of movie becomes such a cliche by the end of the 80s. The big explosions, the hand-to-hand fighting, and all these karate moves. Because it was really at the end of the kung fu movies. There was overload in the 70s when the Bruce Lee films and stuff like that. And this was like just before all the movies, like Die Hard movies and RoboCop and all the other big explosion films that would take place on the Rambo films. Rambo came out, I think, the year before, actually. So this was like the start of the big budget, maybe not so big budget, explosions and fighting and fisticuffs and all that type of thing. And this was really at the beginning of that trend in the 80s. And this is really a movie that's not... It is a cliche movie nowadays, but it's not as bad as I remembered it. No, it's not as bad as maybe some of the critics might say it is today. But it is a good movie, especially if you have been a Chuck Norris fan. Check out Lone Wolf McQuade. So that's my review of Lone Wolf McQuade. Please click on the video, please rate it, feel free to comment on it. Please subscribe to my channel, please forward this video to your Facebook pages. And you can check out all my reviews and on my YouTube channel at rowdyc.com, that's all WDY, and that's c.com, that's a homepage to rally reviewer. Chris Lee Moore, and please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.